On April 17th, we had our first resident test positive for COVID-19. Since then, we've had 13 patients in total test positive. Now, within that population, we've had 4 deaths, which leaves us at about a 30% mortality rate. And we do have 2 people that have fully recovered, so that leaves us at a 15% recovery rate. We do have 4 residents pending swabs. They're doing well. You could say they're on the mend. So that number could change rather quickly. Did you have a good shift last night?
I did.
Yeah, good.
I got into nursing about 4 years ago. I guess what brought me there was I had a family member and I had to take care of them for almost a couple of years. So in that time, I just kind of realized that this was something I could do, something that I enjoyed doing, looking after people, taking care of them. So I made the decision to go back to school with the support of my family and friends, and I guess the rest is history.
Can you walk down this way with me, my friend? Thank you, sir. You're a good guy, Bill. So we have some wanderers on this unit. So when I'm giving meds any given morning, they can be out and about. So one of the challenges we face is we have to be creative, and we kind of have to direct them back to their room. A little bit further, okay, Bill? Just a little bit further. Thank you, sir. So definitely one of the challenges we face when you're working with dementia patients, it's hard to give direction and have them fully take that direction. No, Bill, I think they're doing construction out here today. We might have to let them be for a little while. If you get creative, you build relationships with the residents, they come to trust you, and redirection can be not always so challenging. Bill, if you have a seat right here, I'm going to bring you breakfast, okay? Just kind of have to know that person and know what to say to them. And here he comes. So Bill was just redirected back in. Looks like he wants to come back out. Hi, Bill. It's not easy to live in isolation. I can't imagine how difficult it would be to live in isolation when you have the advanced disease process of dementia. So normally when we do medications, you can see my med card over here. This one's on wheels that would usually come with me down the hallway, obviously as a time saver, so I can just prepare the medication right in front of the resident's room, deliver it, and move on to the next. But due to infection control, this card cannot go into that wing. So there is a lot of back and forth. Does add a little bit of time to the day, but again, absolutely necessary. We want to not contaminate as many materials as possible. We have semi-private rooms here. And when I'm preparing medications, as to kind of save on the PPE, if I have residents that are cohorting in the same room, I will prepare those 2 meds and go in those rooms so I don't have to change my PPE as frequently. It saves time, and of course it's safer as well. So I got to do my PPE, I'm going to give medication. So we have to hand sanitize. So this is the kind of thing that I will have to do multiple times a day, working with the residents. So once I have the gown on, I'm going to re-sanitize my hands. It is time consuming, but of course it's necessary. Once I've got the shield fixed on, I will grab a pair of gloves. One thing I will always tell my staff is no matter what kind of time crunch you're on, it is paramount that we do the PPE properly, because that way we can ensure that we're not spreading the virus from room to room or even from coworker to coworker. I'm going to a semi-private room, so I have one resident's medication and the other is ready to go. So this is my wandering gentleman here. Let's see how he's doing. There he is. Good morning again, Bill. Bill, I brought you a little morning snack, okay, my friend? Okay. 2 bites for you. That's good. That's an old family recipe, my friend. I'm going to be going back out to prepare more medication, so I'm going to have to doff this PPE. Make sure you never touch the glove with your hand. I will loop from the inside and pull it off that way. Once I have my gloves off, I can remove the apron safely. This one just tears off, it's disposable. Now we have garbage cans in each room specifically for the PPE. Now once I have the apron off, I do have to hand sanitize. 20 seconds. So now I'll go back to my med cart and prepare more medication. So Bill is out and about again. Of course, we don't want him to stay in his room, but everyone's on isolation. It's just absolutely necessary. Actually, just for now, I can see he's trying to get out the locked door. So let's see what we can do. Hello again, Bill. Bill, they're doing construction out there, my friend. We can't go out there. So what I will let Bill do in these situations, because he is restless, I'll let him kind of do a lap outside here, just make sure whatever he touches, I'm watching, I can sanitize after, but Bill can get agitated if you redirect him too often. So, Bill, you want those slippers on, my friend? Can I help you with that? But you can see some of those challenges. I can redirect a resident, get them back in their room, and then could be a minute, could be an hour, could be a second, they'll come right back in. Okay, Bill, we're gonna walk. Let's go have something to eat, okay, my friend? Right? And that is the nature of the disease process with dementia. I mean, you just kind of have to live in their reality. Good stuff, Bill. And work with them and just gently persuade them. The amount of time it takes is sometimes almost too consuming because now I'm a little bit behind on my medications, but that's okay, we'll catch up. So Bill was out here, he was kind of touching some tables. We have our housekeeper, Barb, just sanitizing where he just was. But this is something we're going to be doing all the time. If Bill wanders out again, we'll know where he touches, the railings, and just a constant process of sanitizing.
Morning, Ariel. Morning. How are you? I'm good.
I got asked by my supervisor if I wanted to work, and I chose to work at the COVID unit. I wanted to help as much as possible because I know how hard it is, especially right now with what's happening. And, you know, and the residents basically don't have anybody right now but us. So I want to help as much as I can. So follow me. I ended up moving out of my parents for a little while until everything finishes. So basically right now I live in a hotel. Ready? One of the saddest things that I had to deal with was put a resident that was very close to me in a body bag. And it was tough. It was heartbreaking. Yeah.
So how's everybody today?
Was not doing so great, just from report that I heard.
I would be lying if I told you I didn't lose some sleep. Being able to see firsthand the devastating effects that this virus can have on the people that are affected by it, and, you know, just as devastating, working with the families of those affected. It's not easy. You have to push forward and continue the fight. Some patients will recover. We do everything in our power to expedite that process.
Okay. We're gonna go see Mr. Joe Villa. He was our first positive resident in the building. Hello, Joe. So I'm going to call Joe Villa's daughter, Dominica, and we're going to give her an update. I speak to her every day, but she just wants an update on his current health status. Good afternoon, Dominica. How are you? Joe is doing very well. I did get some labs back today, so I know this is something you may already know, but so he has been swabbed twice and he has come back twice negative.
Amazing.
Absolutely. I know, we're so happy. It's tough. It's tough, especially when, you know, you don't quite know what's going to happen next. But so when you have a success story like Joe, you know, we all just kind of applaud, and we're happy to see that, you know, Joe is where he is now. I can't get him to speak like you and your mom can, but I think that's probably because I'm not Italian. Right? Is there anything else I can do for you at this time?
No, that's great news. I'm so happy. Thank you again, and as always, stay safe.
So Joe testing negative certainly was a victory for him. The staff was very pleased with his recovery, but at the same time, we still have several patients here that are still positive, so we do have a long way to go. Bill, see this gentleman right here? He just wants to take some blood from you, okay? Let me see your name, buddy.
I don't need anybody.
I know, Bill. I know.
but we'll keep at it, and we're in it to the end, and we'll be here until, you know, everyone is negative and ready to be moved back and outbreak is over.
I'll help you, Bill, okay? You want them off? Okay. I'll put them back on, don't worry.
So my workday starts at 7 a.m. and it will go typically until 7 p.m. Once I leave work, I do come back to some temporary isolation housing.
Do you have any of the following symptoms or signs? New or worsening cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, runny nose, sneezing?
When the lights go out and it's time to get some sleep, you're kind of just left with that ringing silence of an empty room. It can be lonely, certainly. Sometimes it's hard to ignore the echo of thoughts reverberating in your mind. You know, you're just left with those thoughts and kind of there alone to cope. It's not an easy task, but as a nurse, I don't really think about the hardships that I'm getting myself into, and I'm just going to continue to fight this battle until the pandemic goes away. Unfortunately, it seems like the end is not quite in sight, but each day is a new day, and you know, the best we can do is just, you know, give our best for our patients.
Joe, we're going to your new room.